What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Ryan coming to you live from the chapter room. I'm with my friends Nick and the other Ryan.
What's up,
we just want to say thank you for last week. 300 views, 11 likes. You know, here at the chapter room, we want to be ambitious though. If we can get 15,000 likes in the next 24 hours on this video, Ryan will actually put a microphone up his ass on camera next week. I know you guys want to see that. I know you guys can do it. I have faith in you. We're growing every day, and I think we can hit 10,000. What do you guys think?
I'm not co-signing that.
I just don't want to be in the room when it's happening, so I'm going to be messing next week's podcast if we manage to get this 15,000 likes.
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry.
All right. It's on you guys.
All right.
I'll do it if it's Nick's mic that goes in my ass.
Okay, yeah, these ones are a little wider.
Yeah.
You might have to, or you could use use Nick's mic to get ready.
I need to buy
and
a
then
new
we'll
mic
transition.
That's true.
into
No, it's
the
just more
technical.
because now Nick would have to put that mic up to his face. So.
No, I'm going to end up buying a new mic. I think a lot of people who complain about the echoes need to hit the Venmo and stop complaining so much because your boy's broke. I've been saving up for a hurricane fund after watching these little Florida issues going on.
You never know
People
when it's going to happen.
Evacuating, just never know, and especially in this crazy LA weather.
Yeah.
Can't trust it.
But anyways, realistically, thank you to all of you who tuned in last week. We hit almost 300 views. That was really awesome. Kind of exceeded my expectations. Thank you for all the support, all the criticism. We take note of it every time. We did mention the audio. Like, this is a very echoey room. We're hoping to figure it out. But
shout out my apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna set up a Patreon soon, so if you support, just saying.
So, anyways, so today our topic, we wanted to talk about the recent Mac Miller death. Obviously, he overdosed at the age of 26, and we're all very sad about that. He's a legend in music. Just getting a background for you guys, like, how did Mac Miller's music, like, maybe affect your life, or like him as an artist or a person?
I mean, he was coming up, really coming up, like, still underground, like
those prime high school years, right?
Exactly, yeah. So for
middle school for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For my age group, anyway. But yeah. So he, like, I remember having to watch his stuff on YouTube. Like, it wasn't even an Apple store or anything like that. And it was a buddy of mine, Angel, who put me onto him. And I don't know, man. It was just like he was like legit our anthem. Like, it was crazy. Like, that's all we listened to all the time, man. Like, I remember just being at baseball practice, like, out in the outfield with our phones, just playing it from our pockets. Like, literally, like, everything we did, like, Mac Miller was there. It's crazy that he, to me, is like the very first, celebrity or like influential person that has passed away that actually, like, hit me home for sure. Because I felt like I grew up with him, and I don't know, man. It was something that was so unexpected, and I don't know. I was so, like, taken back. I mean, I don't know.
No, that is tough. That is tough. I mean, for me, I was more of, like, the casual fan. I liked his hits. I never really got too in depth with, like, all of his music. That said, like, what I did listen to, I love.
Minor interruption.
But no, he, like I said, like, I was, like, a casual fan, and even as a casual fan, like, hearing that he overdosed, I was, like, really, like, shocked and saddened by the news, especially because I feel like this stuff's been going on so much recently, and he's not, like, the only one to succumb to this. And I feel like it's just, like, a big problem with society. But no, like, definitely a casual fan. I mean, I really wish Donald Trump would have pulled the biggest baller move ever and used Donald Trump by Mac Miller and, like, walked out to that
as his campaign.
That song is amazing.
I would say I'm on the same boat as far as, like, the music goes with Mac Miller. I was a pretty casual fan. Loved, like, the early music when I was, like, literally in middle school, things like that. And then when he dropped, like, 100 Grandkids and that album, I was a pretty big fan of that. Honestly, didn't really listen to the new stuff, so I wouldn't, like, really say I'm a big Mac Miller fan, but he's just one of those celebrities that is, like, real. Like, there's so many, like, I was even thinking to myself, say someone who was, like, way bigger in hip-hop, like, say one of the Migos, like, died or something, right? Like, obviously, in terms of, like, numbers and actual, like, hip-hop numbers, like, they're a lot bigger, but when you think of Mac Miller, like, he was really, like, a true person, real, like, he wasn't all the materialistic, the whatever. He really was a good guy, like, and you could tell that from him.
And he definitely put out the music that he wanted to put out, like, especially like his last couple albums. Like, there was no like mainstream vibes. It was really just whatever he was feeling, however he was feeling. Like Swimming, you could tell. Excuse me. He was very like emotional, and like you could like hear it in the music. Like, he was putting out what he wanted to put out. He wasn't putting out any more bangers because he wasn't feeling them. So like you said, he was very authentic and just.
His music was raw, you know, it was real. Like you said, he wasn't mainstream. He wrote what he was feeling at the time. He was an artist, like in my opinion, at all, you know, like to a T. But the craziest thing to me, like after his death, is just seeing like the overwhelming support. Like, cause I knew Mac Miller was like a big name, obviously, but like the amount of support that like I saw from people on social media and stuff was like so genuine. Like I felt like people felt the same way I did, and that like honestly blew me away because like you said, his last albums like weren't huge hits, so I felt like people weren't really talking about him at all. And then all of a sudden, like you realize that he has all of these fans, and like there are fans that like really care about him, and like that was just so like, you know, awesome to see. Obviously, you know, you hate to see that like the reason why, but like I don't know, it's just something really.
And then
cool
even people like in the same boat like that I'm in, who like necessarily weren't fans of his music per se, but just fans of him just as a person. Like, great dude, awesome dude.
Well, he had that show too, right? On was it MTV or something, right? He had like a
I don't know.
one series show. Yeah, right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, there was actually a little more interesting details that about his death that I really didn't know. So I'm actually going to read a part of the TMZ article. Maybe get you guys updated if you didn't know some of these things. So Mac Miller was dead for many hours before his body was discovered in his bedroom and 911 was called. TMZ has learned, and there is now a spotlight on the party at Mac Miller's home the night before. Law enforcement sources tell us when cops and paramedics arrived at the rapper's home last Friday, it was clear he had died a long time before they got there. TMZ broke the story. Friends came over the night before Mac died to hang out and were told they stayed until the early hours of Friday morning, September 7th. Mac's body was found around Friday around noon. Miller died of an apparent overdose in his San Fernando Valley home. Cops say no one has came forward claiming they saw Mac alive after Thursday night. He was pronounced dead at the scene after someone at his home called 911. Mac wasn't breathing and was unresponsive. The emergency dispatch call came in as a cardiac arrest, but apparently that's because the person who found him may not have realized he was already dead. Our sources say only a tiny amount of white powder was found when the cops searched the home. Our law enforcement sources tell us cops believe the house was swept clean to hide evidence of drug use. The rapper's cause of death is yet to be determined, according to his death certificate. The coroner is awaiting toxicology results, which typically take 4 to 6 weeks. So a few things that stand out in there. Obviously, the party the night before, evidence of the place being swept clean with drugs. And they said they had found him Friday around noon. That could mean that they knew he died earlier, was like, oh shit, we need to clear this place of drugs. And like, I mean, I meant like, you could say, oh, if they knew he was for sure dead, then they're like, oh, like, why don't we save our asses at the same time? But then it's like, dude, like.
But if the cops were to come and find the body and found drugs, like, would they be in trouble for drugs?
Yeah, but I think like as like just like a casual person, like your friend, you see him dead, like you were probably with him the night before partying.
For sure.
You're probably doing the same drugs that he was doing. You're just probably like freaking out, like, am I responsible for this? I mean, nobody knows like, common law and practice and stuff, so they probably freaked out, panicked, and wanted to do a clean sweep. What do we do about the situation? Oh, we could just say he had a heart attack. The more I'm hearing about this, the more
that's what I'm thinking too.
Like.
I didn't know this until I read the article.
Yeah, see, so like all this is like shocking, and honestly, it's just like it. For me, it saddens me even more because like I don't know, man. It feels like if they were with him the night before when this was all happening, then I feel like they are partially responsible.
And I don't know if these were like his day one friends or if these were like just some industry. I mean, I assume Max surrounds himself with like pretty genuine people in terms of at least compared to other celebrities, but like
he always brought his crew from when he was growing up. Like they were always a big part of his life. Like that's what the TV show that I mentioned earlier, that's what it was about. Like it was about their crew.
Just crazy though. But yeah, music seems like obviously we lost Lil Peep to drugs, Mac Miller overdosing. Drugs have become like a huge part of music. I mean, they've always been a big part of music, but even in recent years, like we've really seen the use and the like language of drugs like increase even more to where I didn't even know that it could even get so bad. But do you think this is a problem? Do you think it's affecting young people? Do you think this needs to be tackled? Like, or do you think kind of music is just art and they should kind of talk about what they want?
I definitely think it's a problem, and I think it's more like it's a problem because it starts at the top and then it trickles down. Like you're mentioning guys like Lil Peep and like I mean, there's a guy whose name is Lil Xans, for Christ's sake. To be honest with you, I don't know his music, so like I can't really speak on him. But every time I like watch a video of him, I'm just like, why is this guy? Why is this guy a human being?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like kids are very malleable in a sense. Like they kind of listen to this kind of stuff, and they might think like, oh, like this is cool. And I feel like that's how it kind of like trickles down to society and stuff. And I mean, it's hard to say, but I mean, even like you got to think of like Demi Lovato, like she had a recent overdose too. Like that's the connection I wanted to make was like when I heard about this was everybody was so sad about Mac in his situation, but
Demi kind of was a meme in a way.
And I'm not sure if it's like like Mac was more authentic and like obviously like his situation's different because like he did pass on unfortunately. So like, but I mean it's just kind of weird seeing both sides of that coin and like how that people went about like viewing that situation. But yeah, it was just like it was a different perspective that I took on it when I was reading and like looking through like social media and stuff.
I mean, it's definitely no surprise that artists like that have influence on the younger generations and even us, even our age too, I mean, not just like actual kids. But like, we were talking about this before, but it's just so mainstream now, like these drugs and like, and the, prescription like epidemic that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what the answer is or whatever, but
like,
it's just like,
if I could add one thing, because I know we brought up like kids, and I feel like there's certain artists who can be a little more open with drugs because they have to like know their audience. But Lil Pump, for example, like I work at a school and I guarantee you like 90% of those kids know who Lil Pump is. They think he's funny. They always go, "Escat," like they really do. And then he has a song. Then like I remember this was after I had been working there for a few months, and he previews a song on Twitter. It's like, whole gang full of drug addicts. Ooh, yeah, something like. And I'm like, dude, like these kids are really listening to him. Like they really are. As young as like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Like
they're rapping along too.
Obviously that has to do with like the parents, but that's a different discussion. But especially if you're a rapper like Pump, like you need to. I don't know, like, and it was funny because he even quit a lot of the drugs, like that he does.
He personally did?
Yeah, because I mean, there was a lot of like he used to be on Xans like crazy and like other pills, but he even has like I'm on a Molly, I'm on a Beam. Like obviously he's always rapping about drugs.
That's like,
and it's kind of and it's different comparing him to like a different artist that maybe like college kids are listening to, but they just need to be careful of their influence. But then another point I was thinking about is like, where do you draw the line between, because if maybe not so much with Pump because his is more like party, just hype music. With artists rapping about drugs, do you think it's bad because like, oh, you shouldn't talk about that? Or are they like, oh, I do drugs in life, like I've had experiences with drugs and I'm here to make music about my experiences, my life. Like where do you guys believe like that line is kind of at between rapping about what you do and being authentic in that way, but also acknowledging that like you have an influence over people? The
line for me is the fact that like in all those lyrics it's like glorifying these like ridiculous drugs. Like that's what I think is different. Like you're not just being authentic, like damn, like maybe how Mac was like, this is how I feel and like this is what I'm going through in my life. Like that's so much different than being like, yo, I party every fucking night and like I do all these, but like that's totally different. Like to me that's not being authentic. Like you're just trying to like gas yourself up and like seem cool, you know what I mean? And it's like obviously working. Like dude, that blows me away that all those kids, how old are those kids that you work with?
I mean, I work at an elementary school. I mainly work with like 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, so it's like the older ones, but they're still.
Well, how old are you in 5th grade? 10, 11?
I think you turn 10 in 5th grade, so you like might start at 9, or no, I think you maybe Yeah, you start at 10, you probably turn 11 during the year.
Either,
So
either way,
around
like
there.
that's just
Still
insane
that
for
age.
these kids to be like exposed to that. Like I don't.
And it's not all of them, but I mean anyone with
remember-
a YouTube
No,
or
I
internet
think
connection.
like reminiscing, like there's a lot of like lyrics that I remember singing as a little kid, like that. I mean, I think
started
if you go,
listening to
if you go
Eminem
back,
pretty early.
Yeah, if you go back and you listen to a lot of old songs and you were like, wow, I remember listening to the song when I was like 8 or 9. Like I should not have been listening to this. I was actually like. Mrs. Officer, shout out Lil Wayne on Carter 3. Like, I should not have been listening to that at the age of 11 as a pudgy little pre-adolescent. Like,
I mean, maybe it was just me, but like I don't really remember that.
I feel like I did listen to a lot of like Eminem
Me too,
when I was
but I
that young,
remember
but a lot of the lyrics flew over my head,
Well,
and I
that
didn't know.
too, that
And then
too.
I would listen later and be like, "Damn, like
No,
I really
exactly.
was 9 years old."
and I
like,
remember my mom, like, I was rapping along to some song, like, as a, like, 9 or 10-year-old, and my mom's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I do, Mom. Like,
I feel like that was more like apparent with like sexual innuendos in songs.
Uh-huh.
So like that's what I remember more. Being like, I don't really know what it's about.
I thought My
you know,
Humps was about camels. I thought Fergie was like out of Saudi Arabia. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, and then will.i.am remixed it to My Hammer. The song about oil.
my black hammer. Jesus Christ, but
I don't know. That's just what I remember. Like it just being like you know sex stuff. I don't remember like that much drug. Like not like how Little Pump's like lyrics are at all. Like no way. Like in my
so
memory.
blatant, right?
Yeah,
like,
You're,
just
you're
out
definitely
there.
right about that
Yeah.
because he is just out there, like you said, like whole crew on like whatever.
Yeah,
songs,
whole gang full of drug
Yeah.
addicts. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah,
like,
like I don't remember rapping a song like that ever, and I think my mom would have definitely slapped the
Yeah.
shit out of me.
And but bro, I was like, I think I bought like a fucking NSYNC CD. You know what I mean? When I was going to, I was like
Bye.
the epitome of like the white boy 10-year-old.
You used to listen to Gwen Stefani all the
You
time.
look
huh?
like
Well, I
you used to listen to anything.
I for sure
Cheetah
listened- I don't
Girls,
know-
you were all over that.
I don't know about Cheetah Girls, but I did have an older sister, so she had a heavy influence
Jesus.
on my music taste. But she's cool though. She likes better music than that.
But yeah, I feel like in terms of all the drug, even when you like stray away from hip hop and even the lyrics, like you just look at festival culture, rave culture, like that's like drug central. You know what I'm saying? And
It's
then
common practice.
it really is. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like not necessarily are pressured because they're like, oh, I need to do it to be cool. Because I feel like at this point, like people are mature enough to be, oh, like no, you don't have to do like these drugs or whatever. But I feel like people can be pressured in the way of, oh, they're at a festival and all their friends are like on this level and you know they're having fun, but they're like, damn, they're really having fun, and
Right.
they're like, oh, I feel like I need to do this to be able to fully enjoy it.
Right.
And I feel like that's where more of the peer pressure stems as from nowadays. It's not like those like 90s videos of like, hey kid, you want to smoke weed?
It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to festivals, like we've been around it. Like it's not like that at all. Like the peer pressure aspect. I mean, at least in our experience.
And you'll see people
But-
like literally fainting and like getting taken out on, and you're like, wow,
sure.
bro, like
But,
this
like,
is
Absolutely wild.
It's no different than like the '60s and like Woodstock and shit. Like that's the thing to me.
That's what I'm
it's,
saying.
like, it's not new. It's not
Everything's
new at
a
all.
cycle.
Yeah. Like
But I think like with social media, just bringing another aspect to it, where it's like now you see like these people out at like your friends on Snapchat, like doing a line of coke or whatever, or like at these festivals or whatever they're doing, and like you're seeing it being more and more common, and you're like, oh, like I don't want to be left behind, like I want to be fit in with the normal crew, like.
But it's nobody
So
telling
there's-
you to do it though.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
mean,
the difference.
I agree, but it's also there is a social pressure that goes without saying, like to fit in.
Yeah.
There's pressure, but
And
it's
it's
not
not, like-
aggressive pressure.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was saying. Is it's not necessarily people telling you, oh, like you should do this, you
Right.
need to do this, but it's more of you like looking from the outside in, being like, oh, like I feel like to be fully included. Oh, I'm going to this rave, like I'm kind of new, but everyone who's like been experienced and have gone to raves before, they're all doing all these things, and then you like feel that pressure anyways. And I feel like a lot of people who would have never gotten into those things, like even like kind of trick themselves into thinking like, oh, it's normal, but like it's not. Like
Right.
and then no one wants to also talk about like the bad side of the drugs and the after effects, and like
Right.
that's when you talk about like, oh, glorifying it, and you know, I mean, there's you gotta like stay away
That's-
from drugs, kids.
That's the difference of like the glorifying thing,
Uh-huh.
really, because like if you like remember like Eminem's lyrics like that, like in my opinion, he was never like
Uh-huh.
like telling you about it. He was like saying like this is real shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going on. It's not like
Yeah, like
you know,
Relapse and those albums, like he would talk about just like he would link it with depression, all this stuff. Obviously, he had his different like music where he was.
But that's the difference
whatever,
between
yeah.
like the lyrics of the culture and like the drugs
Right.
and like from our age to now. You know what I mean? And
Do you
like,
guys
kids.
think Mac and Demi and Lil Peep, do you think it'll sway music in a way to where people maybe like, oh, maybe I shouldn't include these, or do you think it'll be like a short-term thing and then people just go right back to it?
I think it's gonna stay in the culture,
Uh-huh.
man. I think people like, especially these artists who are under like this microscope, like any little thing they do wrong, like they're criticized for. They use like these drugs as some form of an escape, or maybe they just like they're just so easily accessible, and everybody around them is doing it that they get involved with it. And I mean, like with Mac, like it became his life, and so like that's what he started like rapping about it or whatever. Like these artists, like it becomes a part of their life, so they start rapping about it because that's what they know. And so I don't see it going away, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
There's another point to where like also artists, when they sign to a label, these labels will like literally book them like crazy, and then so the artists will have to be like working for insane amount of hours, and then they'll use drugs to be able to keep up that production, and that gets them more into drugs, and that's how these artists go off the rails too, who maybe casually use drugs in the beginning but then kind of just went off the deep end because of like the demand that was
The
expected
stress
of them.
and the
Yeah, the
depression,
stress,
like,
the
yeah.
demand, the expression, being around it all the time, the money, being able to use
Right.
it, and so yeah. Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
R.I.P. bro. Miss you.
So now we transition into something more fun.
Um,
So Nick's gonna introduce
you
us
guys wanna
with
get into some segments?
Nick's
Yeah.
gonna introduce us with a couple new segments we're trying out.
So we're gonna start with our
Yeah.
first one. Our first new segment's called "You Mad Bros"
And bras
and Bras, because like we're pretty gender inclusive here, and we don't
And
want you
Zs.
feeling left out, ladies.
Size.
Yeah, how would you say Zaz
Zim.
or Jaws?
No fucking clue.
We're fish inclusive too.
We're
Jaws.
sticking with bros and bras. So
Oh.
you mad bros and bras. So basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring up a topic that the internet or like whatever, like basically that's trending, that's like got people upset, got people like feeling some type of way, and
Which can be anything
yeah.
nowadays.
So like the first topic that actually got brought to our attention today was like women being upset about the new like iPhone.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, Apple announced a few new products. I think there was 2 new iPhones. It might be the XS and then another one. And then they released a new Apple Watch, which, side note, those things can do EKGs now. That's actually insane.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
They're like literally like heart tests, like electric cardiograms or whatever.
right. So
That's like a big deal.
And I've heard too, like if you like fall down and like you don't move for a long time, like it can call 911 too.
Pretty lit.
Which
Life
is like,
alert, you're fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but which
hey,
is like,
yeah, everyone's
how does
short
it-
life alert on the stock market.
Siri, help! I've fallen. I can't get up.
but how does it know like?
Be like pulling up weather for Tuesday, and you're like, thanks, Siri.
Siri, I'm dying over here, bitch.
How does it know the difference between you just like chilling on the
I don't
couch?
Probably, I don't know. But anyways, so if you didn't know, the new
Just like
iPhone.
gonna get the fucking 911 call on you, and you're just like gonna come banging
Yeah,
on your door.
exactly.
And just take
You're
a
like,
nap.
oh no,
Just
bro,
take
I'm
a
just
nap.
like schlumped.
Yeah,
bro.
just zooted, bro.
So, anyways, the new iPhone's apparently sexist. It's the biggest display of the iPhones yet, which means it is too large for females' hands. And as you know, every female is legally required to purchase the new iPhone. So it's obviously sexist. I'm pretty sure the executives and the board of directors at Apple were all sitting there like this.
Well, that was my
How
slant.
can we? How? Like, what is, like, are you kidding me, bro?
That was my slant. It's like, no one's forcing you to buy this. Like, if you don't like the product for whatever fucking reason, then don't buy it.
What is
Like,
it, the XS, the regular sized one? Or what's the bigger one?
Can't think of the name,
yeah,
but it's
whatever.
bigger.
The regular sized one is gonna be just fine,
Yeah.
ladies. I promise you. And then another thing, girls, you're always talking about how you want a guy with a bigger penis, and then so you can't handle the.
where's
you
this
can't-
going?
Okay, this is where it's going. Hold on. Give me a second. They want the bigger
Nick's
penis,
at work right now.
but then they get mad about like bigger phones. I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
like,
you can't.
I see the connection.
Okay.
Yeah, I see the connection.
I mean, it was a bold one, but
But it's funny because you can.
Oh,
We're sorry about that.
Great.
I'm not sorry.
He's not sorry.
Don't complain about me having a small penis, ladies.
Yeah. All right.
Shout
So,
out
it's one thing to argue like, oh, the phones are too big for females' hands, but you can't say like it's sexist, because when you say it's sexist, that implies that there's a motive behind it and that there's a reason where they're like, oh, we want to fucking screw.
Look, dude, they just wanted bigger screens. Like, we just want to watch porn like on a bigger screen. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I swear to God, we're gonna be holding fucking laptops soon.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
No, because they do keep making these screens bigger, and then
Wait,
people.
hello? I can't hear you.
No, but they keep making these screens bigger and bigger because people keep complaining. Like, Samsung and Apple just keep one-upping each other on the thing, and then they're like getting rid of notches. Like, who fucking cares?
Do you think the next trend is to go back down? Like, where do they go? I guess they can go thinner, but it's
phones. Like... No, Samsung's actually coming out with the like a little foldable like screen type deal.
I think I heard something.
Yo, wait, did you guys ever have a flip phone?
Yeah, I had. Well, my first phone was like a little tiny flip phone because I actually got my first phone when I was 8, but because I started taking the bus home, so my mom was like,
similar motive for my mom. I played basketball in middle school, and then my mom, when I was going on the bus.
Mom, some guys molesting me on the bus.
All right, well, here's a cell phone.
No, just when I'd go away games, my mom wanted me to have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then when I graduated from elementary school, I got the young NV Touch, which was like the first flip sideways phone.
Right.
And I was the shit for like a good long time.
That first phone I was talking about was a Nextel phone. I don't even know if you know about Nextel. You probably know
something about that.
So Nextel was like literally like a construction brand like phone. Like it was like the industrial phone, right? It was like for like working people, right? And my dad was like a construction salesman at the time. So he had Nextel, and then so like my family had Nextel. And my phone was a flip phone, but on the side it had a button, and it was spring loaded, and it would just like flip fucking open, and it was the coolest thing ever had when I was 10 years old. And it was like, so I used to walk
pull up
people,
on the ladies.
Yeah, no, like when I used to walk people and just like open it and just slap them in the face.
No, that like meme where it's like when you hang up on your phone and you're really fucking mad at the flip phone, you just fucking slam the shit out of it. Like you can really emphasize.
You can answer angry. See, like other people can hang up angry, he can answer.
So cool.
What the?
It was like literally
what?
so cool.
What
but it was such an ugly phone. Oh, it had the push to talk. That's what Nextel was. It was had the walkie-talkie feature, which was the coolest thing ever until your dad tries to walkie-talkie you like in third period in the middle of the day, and like it was just my phone just like, and there was like no like silencer on it like at all. It would just beep in the middle of class.
What was that one phone that like Fat Joe used to advertise all the time? It was like it was a Boost Mobile. Like where you at? Like the little I don't know if you guys
that was probably Boost Mobile, but that's that same feature.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like it was just literally a walkie-talkie, bro. I'm telling you.
Which at that point, why didn't you just buy a fucking walkie-talkie?
I don't know. Like I don't understand the feature at all. But like literally, I'm telling you, it happened all the time.
That's actually ableist because it's a walkie-talkie, so like that's clearly offensive as well. So this isn't a new trend. I'm saying with
what?
Because with the iPhone, the iPhone sexist.
Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
No, but actually, I didn't even have a phone until like going into my freshman year of high school. So your boy. No, I used to get fucking roasted all the time, and then like every single conversation you'd have with the girl in middle school was over phone. Like we were all just awkward. So like, I got no hope.
You couldn't play 21 questions with anyone.
No, dude, I couldn't.
Ryan still plays 21 questions. If you didn't know.
No week-long relationships to look back on. I got no hugs. I was the where my hug at?
Yeah, he really
in middle school.
Where my hug at?
Jesus.
I was pudgy as fuck. If you're watching this and you remember me in middle school, fuck you for not giving me my hug.
Yeah.
I was hurting every night.
You were fat boy, huh?
Yeah.
Big boy Nick.
Yeah.
Same weight as you are now.
The thickest of Nicks.
You blow up though.
He just thinned as he grew, so he's been the same weight for like.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
You want to see some photos? Just follow me on the gram at the real Nick Martinez.
Also follow the chapter room or chapter room.
You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Actually, do that. But me first, all right.
There's a lot of really really good content up on our Instagram, so check it out.
Yeah, there's tons of posts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about?
iPhone is sexist.
iPhone.
What's next?
Did you want to do the other Why You Mad Bros?
Yeah, I think we covered the iPhone pretty extensively, and it's sexist, patriarchal.
It's just so dumb.
Yeah, obviously it's only like a few bloggers.
Right.
So next
whatever. Yeah.
All right. So we also created another segment called Ask the Room, where we go on Ask Reddit, and if you've ever been on Reddit, it's basically like another form of social media where people create like a forum and then people can respond in the chat. So people on Ask Reddit, it's a subreddit from Reddit. Don't want to get into full culture of that, but anyway, like people will ask questions and then the public from the forum gets to respond to it. Best response basically gets a ton of upvotes, and so
It's clout.
yeah, gets major
I
clout.
love clout.
So the question that kind of caught our eye this week was, if you could upgrade human beings in only one, if you could upgrade human beings in only one way, what would it be and why? So
You want to start it off, or
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking mine right now.
Okay, so the first thing, not the first thing that came to mind, a bunch of stupid stuff came to mind first.
Yeah, just same.
Yeah, but like the thing that it's kind of like a whatever answer, but I feel like you guys will like it. So if I could
Probably not.
upgrade,
Just kidding.
no, the thing I would upgrade is just be like the recovery time for sleep. Like imagine how like sick our days would be if we only had to sleep like 2 hours instead of
Ooh.
6, 8, whatever.
You know, that was actually one that I thought about.
Like
And
just
then-
think how productive you could
But
be.
like, I also thought about how unproductive I enjoy being, and then that would be like if I
Right.
had like less time to sleep, people would require way more of me, and I already don't like doing stuff. So then I would just do less stuff and feel more guilty. And
Right, I'm not saying I would take advantage of that extra hours. I would do nothing with that extra time. I would just watch more fucking
I'd probably
TV,
just play
but-
more video games.
yeah,
whatever.
I
Instead
like
instead
being a night
instead of
owl
season
anyways.
8 of The Office, I'd be on season 12. Like that's literally all I do.
There's only 9 seasons. Just to clarify.
Well, like rewatchable.
I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
bro,
just fucking
he
with
doesn't.
you.
He doesn't even
Semantics.
know about the extra seasons, bro.
Yeah, bro, the hidden.
Don't try
Um,
me, bro. Don't try me.
I think my human upgrade would be never having to shit, because there's a lot of times where having a good day, maybe in the middle of a test, concentrated, focused in, and then I'm like, oh.
So you're saying like never?
Never. You just eat, and then
I
maybe
understand.
I don't know if it all gets dispersed within your farts.
Where does it
I don't
go?
know if farting's still a thing in my
Fart?
scenario.
Okay. This is where you're wrong.
Basically-
I would way rather never fart again, because farting is publicly embarrassing. When you go to use the bathroom, like, you're just doing your own thing. You just say, gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Don't
And
You're
worry.
not doing
And
your
there
own
are
thing,
those
Nick.
special
You
poops.
shit in my bathroom so many times, and I know everything that's going on. It's not private.
Yeah, but like I get to catch up on Twitter, on Instagram, like
As if
pot-
I'm not doing that the whole
potty
lesson.
time is incredibly important. You need it throughout the day. And then another thing, one of the top 5 feelings in the world are those shits where you feel like you've lost like 50 pounds. You walk out of the bathroom and you just feel like a new man.
You really do.
That's
Yeah,
top 5
you really
feelings.
do.
Getting rid of that would just be awful.
Only half of our audience really knows what that feels like, because I know girls don't poop. But
I'm pretty sure girls are like 95% of our audience.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
That's why
but
that's why
they just can't
you
relate
mad
to
bros
this
and
topic
bros? Why you mad bros and bros?
Yeah.
Gotta be inclusive.
Exactly.
Or 95%.
because they can't poop, so they might have felt left out of the conversation. But yeah, I think that's probably my improvement that I would do.
All right.
Maybe I'd consider the non-farting, but
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like farting is way more embarrassing. And
well, it's more embarrassing. But like, farting's like, it's over. But you got to take time out of your day.
All right, I'll remind you of that next time you
All
rip.
right. It's not embarrassing, bro.
okay, Nick, what's
All
yours?
right. So I did think about the no sleep thing, but like I said, don't want to be unproductive. Like I enjoy being unproductive. Don't want to have to feel pressured to do more throughout my day. I thought about like not like dying. Like I feel like if everybody could just like live forever, that'd be pretty cool. But
Okay.
some people suck, and some people like need to die. So that would suck. Because you got to think like everybody is getting this trait.
Yeah,
it's an
you're
upgrade
right.
for all human beings.
It's not just you.
So it's not like some superpower you get to have. I thought about like males being able to last longer during sex, but nah.
I'm a
like,
sick fuck.
as long
I
as-
like a quick fuck.
I love it.
As long as I'm a little selfish, as long as I get mine, like it's cool. So like I don't really need to upgrade everybody for that. And then I thought like no hangovers, but I don't
Yeah,
really
but then
don't
how are you
mind.
gonna show up to class and be like, bro, I'm so hungover. Oh fuck! Like you guys have no idea. Like I consumed alcohol last night,
Bro,
and
I
like
partied.
I partied. Did you
interested
go to
in
a party?
you
I
interested
went
in
to a
rushing
party.
my
Did I tell you I
frat?
went to?
No, but I think I landed on like just like having the perfect haircut forever. Like where if you could upgrade it.
Oh my god,
to
that is
where-
amazing.
Yeah,
I
bro,
probably
like,
have
if
my-
you-
my-
If you could upgrade it to where you never have to go in for another fucking haircut.
Well, I'm gonna.
Shout out Myron. If you're watching
Myron.
this, I love you. Like I would still make time to visit you, buddy. But
This is true.
I probably
just
have
want
my
to cut the rest of my
satisfactory
life.
haircut for like 5 or 6 days. But then I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a new
Yeah, like-
fucking
But
haircut
just
every.
like perfectly groomed, like beard,
Yeah.
everything.
Well, just
like,
take it one step. Like you just have complete control over like your body hair. Like
oh, dude,
that's like
if
the
I
next
could,
level.
if
Like,
I could
all
do
of it.
like,
I would do the
if I
Mona
could-
Lisa on my ass hair. Like that's probably what. I
I would just make
complete
my-
control.
Dude, that's
I would make.
I'm
my
thinking
pubes
next level,
so
bro. I don't
long.
know what
I would make my pubes like really long, like one night, and just like my normal would just like be like, why the fuck are your pubes so big? And I'd be like, I don't know. And then I would
What
just,
the
like,
fuck?
retract them, and then everything would be back to normal. That's
But it's
weird-
for everyone.
That's weird. I
You
just
have to
want,
remember
I
it's
just want
for
like.
well. Why stop it at the, above your ears?
No, you're right. You're right.
I would love to never have to trim my beard.
No,
again.
like that's why like
No,
full like
exactly.
That's what
manscaping,
I'm saying,
beard,
yeah.
hair, like. If
So
you could
why are
sculpt
you
it-
excluding like?
Drew could
butt
maybe
hair?
grow armpit hair. That'd be cool if he had control over
Then
that.
the other one that I thought of.
Drew's just a swimmer, okay? Like,
The other one that I thought of also now that I'm remembering is like being able to just like eat whatever the fuck you want and not gain weight.
That's
like,
why-
I already have that.
no, but like
Just
if
saying.
no, but like if
why does he
everybody
get like 6 topics and we all get one?
because you're not creative.
It's his segment, bro.
Alright, fine.
No, but like seriously, like
I like these though.
No, these are good.
if people like were able to, if everybody looked hot, like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like you need fat people to make.
But
hot,
what
like,
is hot still a thing if everyone's
That's
hot?
why, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you need the fat people to make the skinny people look good.
Shout
And
out
I'm
to
not
all the
saying-
fat people.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying like thick people. Like, there's certain people who are into that. So, like, if that's your thing, like, more power to you. But I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, like.
I mean, I already have that.
skinny
I
people,
literally-
leaner
bro.
people are more attractive. It's why everybody's in the gym working on their egos. Fact.
Exactly. I can eat like I eat the shittiest out of kind of anyone I know.
Yeah, you do.
But like
That's
I'm
just
just a
facts.
little skinny boy. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just all that's why I need to stop shitting so that way I just can gain some weight, you know.
Just get back
Yeah,
up.
exactly. It starts raising up.
I just like how this went
Well,
full
coffee
circle
nut.
back to your no shitting.
Hmm?
I said I just like how you brought this back full circle back to your no
Yeah,
shitting.
because I want the people to vote for me. So vote for me.
So basically, like with
Oh.
these Ask Reddits, like what we're gonna do.
You had 6 topics. It's not fair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but my main one was the perfect haircut, and even you guys agree that mine
No,
was the
you
best.
waited for our responses and we're like,
Okay.
oh, they liked that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose that one.
Regardless,
I think I'm gonna put my main one like right in
what
the
we're
middle.
gonna do,
like-
what we're gonna do, folks, is we're gonna post a poll up on like Instagram or Twitter. Well, I guess there's 3 of us, so we can't really do the Instagram poll. We'll do a Twitter poll that's at Chapter Room also. You can give that one a follow. We're gonna start posting more content on that, and like we'll post polls throughout the week, and you guys can vote on who had the best of the Ask the Room / Ask Reddit segments, like who had the best like idea for it. So
There you go. Do you have more segments, or could we hop into this last story?
no, let's go ahead and hop into the last story.
All right. Well, one more story we wanted to talk about. We were maybe thinking about using this for the You Mad Bros bras, but maybe some of you might have heard the Serena Williams controversy that came out. Basically, she was at the U.S. Open, I think it's called. I'm not that big of a tennis fan, but
It's like 8 different U.S. Open.
yeah,
different
right.
sports.
Surfing,
Yeah.
golf, like sledding.
Pick it
I don't
up,
know.
back second-rate sports. Pick it up. Pick up different names.
Yeah, they should
All
change
be
the Super
US
Bowl
Opens.
to the U.S. Open. So, anyways, Serena Williams, she was in the U.S. Open final, going up against Barbara Strikova, I think.
Streisand.
Try whatever. But anyways, facing her, she was unhappy with a few of the calls, was getting angry, started complaining, saying stuff to the ref for his judgments or whatever. Ended up actually at one point throwing her racket on the ground and breaking it. So she was pretty frustrated, making a scene and everything. And then ended up calling the umpire, whose name is Carlos Ramos. She called him a thief and a liar because he had charged her with a point penalty for basically her throwing a racket down and everything. And I guess he called the game after that. It doesn't say right in this article, but I'm pretty sure she was losing, and I mean, obviously she was mad. So she had to have been getting.
She was getting absolutely her
Yeah.
ass kicked.
Oh, okay.
Like literally destroyed.
So he called the game, and then so what she did is afterwards kind of turned it into like a women's movement type thing, saying that she wouldn't have done that if she was a man, which I know in the past there's been male tennis players who have like said things to refs or whatever, but like obviously every ref is different, every situation's different. What do you guys think about her changing that into kind of a?
Go ahead.
Yeah, the call that I think she was arguing about most, the point deduction. Maybe you're right. She did get one for the racket.
I don't know if that's what it's for, but I know she said.
Okay, then it's probably
if
just
you know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just heard about it. So the coach was like coaching her from the stands, which apparently they're not allowed to fucking do.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is the point of a coach?
They were saying everyone does that, but still, it's
Right.
like if you get caught, you get caught.
Well, I don't know fucking tennis.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like they're saying everybody does it all the time. Like it's a normal thing to do. But so she was mad that she got a point because of that. Like when it's a totally normal thing, and that's why she was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
well, like you're not
right,
letting me
yeah.
do this for because I'm a woman." That kind of shit. But the bottom line was she's getting her fucking ass kicked. Like,
But her
like,
opponent's a woman
if
too.
it was a close game, like she'd been way more focused on the game. Like she was frustrated. She was like embarrassed. Like she threw a temper tantrum because she was getting her ass kicked, and she tried to blame it on him. And that's
spin zone.
exactly
She
right.
wouldn't even needed the coaching if she wasn't getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
So,
Could I ask you guys this? Do you think she genuinely believes it was a woman's issue, or was she like, you know how I can?
yeah, no, it's definitely one of those cards that she was just like,
Do you think-
I'm gonna bring
yeah,
this bad boy out, and like now everybody's gonna back me because if you speak against me publicly,
Sexist.
you're put in a hole. You get buried by society.
Fired, whatever. You never know.
Like,
At these days.
yeah, no,
It's an easy card to pull, like
Yeah.
for like to have everybody on her side. But I don't think it works. Everybody's kind of outraged and like she's a meme for sure.
Yeah.
I think the
Kind of lost some respect. Like, so like I said, we're not tennis watchers, but I didn't know they really like, bro. She was like throwing a temper tantrum, bro. Like it was
losing,
very
bro.
immature.
She
She
was
literally
embarrassed.
was losing it, and I was like, dude, this is one of the legends of the game.
Yeah.
Like I know there's NFL players and NBA players who like pout and everything.
No, they definitely throw temper tantrums though, and like they're bad sports too. Like they throw towels, they knock Gatorade jugs over.
Yeah.
And you have baseball players taking Gatorade or bats to Gatorade
That shit
jugs.
pisses me off. That's just so immature.
But we're not
I like
debating
it.
her temper
It's
tantrum. Like
great.
we're not
Keep
debating
doing it.
Yeah,
her getting
yeah.
mad. We're debating her using the woman card, like feminist, like
No, I get
whole
it.
thing, like about the
And like I said, like I think it's just like the easy card to play. Like now she thought like everybody's gonna be on her side, and I feel like for the most part, like at least initially, like before people read on like, oh, so like there was multiple things leading up to this, and oh, Sergio Ramos like because I guess he has had like a prior history with even male players calling like slight minor infractions, like he might just have a stick up his ass for the
Well,
rule
there
or
you
whatever.
go. Like there's an example.
But then now this is what his career is going to be as a
Right.
referee, be defined as, and then you're like, well, that's not really fair. And even if you're Serena Williams, and you
He's
truly,
a fucking tennis referee. Who cares about his fucking career? Anyway.
if you're Serena
Sorry,
Williams,
Jorge Ramos.
even if you truly believe that it was a sexist act, like you don't know for sure. Like you can
Right.
never know someone's motives.
Right.
So unless he like was caught on secret tape saying, "Oh, it was because she was a woman,"
Right.
like you're literally making an assumption and then now staining his personality and credibility as a professional
Right. When
in
he
his
was probably
career.
just being
And
a
you're
dick,
like, you don't
like,
know that. Even if you do think that, you don't know that.
He
And-
could just be being a dick ref. Like,
Yeah.
why does it have to be that, like, oh, because she's a woman? Like,
Yeah.
why does it have to do with anything?
I mean, I think like honestly, I'm trying to see things from her perspective, like in the situation. She probably thought like, yo, like I'm not in the wrong here. So I think like given the moment, she might have been like why would he pick me? Like obviously, like I didn't do anything wrong. Like he's just being a jerk. It's got to be because of something. Oh, my mind's gonna settle on because I'm a woman.
Right.
So
And
it might have been one of those type deals, but.
I just want to give a shout out to the girl that like beat her, the kicked
Yeah,
ass that won
good
the tournament.
job.
Because seriously, like now her winning this championship is like not even about her.
Yeah.
Like, she just upset. Well, I don't even know if it was an upset. I don't know if she was supposed to win or not.
Nah,
but like she beat one of the
Yeah,
greatest of all
yeah.
time. Well, probably the greatest of all time, right? Serena
Oh,
Williams.
Yeah.
the GOAT.
Yeah. So like this story should be about like
Sorry,
this new
Venus.
star and you know like this great like victory and all this shit. But now everybody's just talking about Serena Williams being a crybaby.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it sucks for her. So just
supposedly it was
shout
a
out her.
huge upset, like a huge upset.
Well, then there you go. That's what the story should be. But now
Yeah.
it's about Serena Williams.
And then
being a
not only
crybaby.
that, it takes away from like other women's issues that maybe like they're like obviously there's been a bunch of things these past year like the Me Too movement, sexual assault, like all of these things that
Things
are
that
like
deserve
real
attention.
issues deserve
Yeah.
attention. And then now when you have some Cloyd Rivers dude on Twitter is gonna be like, see, this is what the feminists are about, blah, blah, blah. But it's like,
why would you read Cloyd Rivers' voice?
You know what? No one knows what Cloyd Rivers sounds
exactly.
like, but probably just sounds really stupid. But now that gives ammunition to the other side to like mock movements that are real, and this is obviously one that people can like point at as like a joke,
Right.
you know. But
no, I agree. Just shout out her for winning.
Shout out her for
She
winning.
didn't get enough.
Yeah. Shout out her. Exactly our point. We don't even know her fucking name.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about how like what a great victory it was. I mean, let's be honest, we wouldn't be talking about it if this didn't happen.
And there was also an Australian newspaper.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So there was a controversy around this. Basically, you know those political cartoons. So I don't know. Here, I don't know if our viewers can see it.
Well, we can. Drew will put it on.
Okay, Drew's gonna put it on.
It'll be somewhere here or here.
There you go.
Or like right
Put
here.
it like right here.
It's okay. So, anyways, if you guys can see it, it's like
I'm great at this YouTube shit.
it's Serena Williams throwing a temper tantrum, then the referee asking the other girl like, "Oh, can you just let her win?" But the thing you obviously first notice about Serena Williams in the cartoon is the exaggerated, like, African American features that really look like legitimately like race motivated. And when I first saw that, I was like, okay, that's like pretty bad. And then the funny thing is too, the girl that beat her was Japanese. She was like the first Japanese woman to ever win the U.S. Open. But in the cartoon, she's literally like a white blonde girl. So that was just another thing. Yeah. Do you have it right there?
I want to see it.
Yeah, that's just another thing to go with it. But it's just funny, like
She's literally blonde.
Yeah, white blonde.
And she has like brown
I'm pretty
hair.
sure the other girl has black
Well,
hair.
that brings us back to the point that Serena Williams took the whole spotlight away from the
Exactly.
because I didn't even know the girl was Japanese who won.
But that was pretty bad. So like, that was just another thing to add on to that story.
No, definitely. And I think like again, this is just society getting outraged over like literally nothing because that's these political cartoonish jobs. If you watch any or if you have viewed any political cartoon, like whether it be like a Donald Trump one or a Hillary Clinton one, they're given huge heads and different like features, and obviously like African American women like do have bigger lips. Like I don't see why that's a problem. Like it's just a thing. Like generally speaking,
It does have like a history, but I'm just still okay. So in terms of like, that is a point,
but it
but
doesn't have to be racially motivated. Is what I'm
no.
saying. Like,
But then
But
you,
this was.
not even saying it's 100% racially motivated. But if you're a cartoonist and you're drawing her, and then like bro, like the first thing everyone notices when they look at that is like they see like the big lips, and like if you're a cartoonist, like you know, it's like you would maybe if you weren't like, oh, I'm racist, so I'm gonna give her big lips, but like you would see the lips and be like, okay, that looks pretty bad, like. You know what I'm saying? I honestly thought that wasn't cool at all. I kind of took the side of the I don't know what side it would be, but just not the side of the newspaper, definitely. Just looked pretty bad. It was pretty fucked up.
I don't know. Whenever you get a caricature drawing anywhere, like whether it be an amusement park or some carnival or whatever, like everything about you gets blown out of proportion. So like to get mad over this same exact thing for me is just like random. Like if
You're saying people are looking too into it.
I saw an interview because like I was honestly really curious about this, and like I saw an interview with the guy, and he just seemed so genuinely like taken aback by like people's outrage. Like he was like, I think he just really did it. It was just like, oh shit, like I guess I get what you're saying, but that wasn't my intention.
Yeah. So because you can't prove intent.
I mean, I get both sides of the coin, but I don't think that society needs to be mad about this at all.
It was just so.
It just had a bad
obnoxious
taste.
that
It had a bad
does come off
taste.
that
It
way.
was just a bad taste kind of thing.
Right.
But I think that's all for that.
Yeah, we hit everything, right?
Well, you want to talk about the NFL.
Oh.
So obviously our whole last episode is on that. There was a few games that stood out. I know you want to talk about a few of those.
Yeah. All right. So let's start with the Browns and Pittsburgh.
Hold on, before you start. He beat me in fantasy football this week.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
shout out me. That's right. I think I doubled your points, not just beat you.
I mean, I put up 95. It's not a bad week.
Everybody
but
beat you in fantasy football. Check the scoreboards.
Happens.
Shout out Ryan.
No,
So don't listen to my sports advice ever on this show.
So I don't know. Just that game was probably my favorite game to ever exist in the NFL. Like literally, it was the most like crappy display of talent. Like it was the worst game, and that's why I loved it. Like it was the most Cleveland Browns game I've ever seen. They had opportunities to win that game a dozen times and couldn't bring it home. Like literally, like missed field goals in overtime. Just the entire thing was just like absolutely phenomenal. I loved watching it.
It was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
After they got that interception, had they not blocked in the back on the return, they would have been like way closer for the field goal.
But
It doesn't matter, bro.
Knowing
Like-
the Browns, they would have still missed it.
Exactly.
just
That's my
based
point.
on their season.
Like literally, I would take this game over any game that I've ever watched before.
What
Like,
about
literally.
the Packers comeback?
Well,
I know you love that one.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if you saw, but Aaron Rodgers post game.
All right.
Goodbye, Ryan. So we're just gonna
Later.
drop him from the show.
All right, cool. Talk to me about the Packers, even though I don't care
So
about the Packers.
this is actually pretty funny. Aaron Rodgers post game. So obviously he had gotten hurt. I think it was maybe in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid that he like tore his ACL, anything like that. So obviously in the NFL they put you on drugs when you need to come back in the game. And in his
Don't do
post game interview, Aaron Rodgers was like geeked out. Did
Really?
you see it?
No, I haven't
Bro,
seen it.
it's so funny.
Okay,
He's
man.
really like his pupils first of all are huge as fuck, and he's like giggling for no reason. And they're like, "Oh yeah, like to come back in the game, blah 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 blah."
He was just
like,
high off the thrill of victory.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, like what was the injury problem?" He's like, "My knee, and he just starts like giggling and
Great
everything.
Aaron Rodgers impression.
It was really funny. No, super. He literally sounded like that. Like he was
Oh,
geeked
giddy.
out. He was
That's
geeked
funny,
out. He was
yeah.
giddy. I don't know what's up with Ryan if he's coming back, but
Doesn't matter. I'm taking over.
yeah, exactly.
No, really. And then
Anything stand out to you this week?
the only thing I thought was really
Wait,
funny.
who'd you play? And did you win?
Yeah, I played against the blind man, Chance Childs. Shout out Cooper's
Shout
Red
out
Rockets, taking home a dub in week 1. About to take home a dub in week 2. The only thing that I remember just being really funny was sitting here, we're watching the games with each other, like me, you, and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we were really excited for like Josh Allen, like, oh, hopefully he gets brought in.
This was funny.
It's 40-0.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
bring in Josh Allen. We go, and Ryan has the NFL red zone. Oh, welcome back, by the way.
Yeah.
Ryan has the NFL red zone.
Nice of you to join us.
Yeah. I think I sounded better in your mic personally.
Yeah.
But Ryan has the NFL red zone, so he gets like notifications for like scoring updates for different games that aren't being viewed. So it said Jay Allen touchdown for the the Ravens and Bills game.
Bro,
And
we were
like,
so hyped.
Yeah, like we were
We
screaming.
were like, no, we wanted to see it. We should have
we
put
were
like.
screaming as loud as like when the Bills or the Browns tied. Like we were
Yeah.
so excited. And then we turn to the channel and it's 40-0, and we're just like, didn't they just score a touchdown? Like Josh Allen just scored. Like he's just in the game. And then we realized that there is a Javarius Buck Allen who plays for the Ravens. Thanks for going by Buck for the majority of the time.
Yeah,
buddy.
exactly.
No
So-
idea. So it just
so
popped
Jay
up Jay
Allen,
Allen, and we all got
so
so
You know what
hyped.
was funny today? I was watching the Ravens-Bengals Thursday night game, and I saw Buck Allen, and I was like, oh, don't they have another running back, Javarius Allen? And then, like, BMO was all like, he's all like, oh, really? They do? Like, that's actually crazy. Like, they have, like, whatever. And then I was like, just now figured out that that's the same person.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
The more you
Hilarious.
know, folks.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
exactly.
Yeah.
We were talking about, did you see Aaron Rodgers' post-game interview when he was geeked
Yes.
out?
Okay. So
Okay, yeah,
let me
you
just
missed-
talk about that real quick.
Shouldn't have left.
I
Okay.
should have been this excited. Sorry, I couldn't
So-
bring that heat.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we talk about the comeback first and then go to the post game?
We were
We
in
already
meetings, so I
kind
didn't-
of covered.
No, we didn't really cover the comeback.
We're gonna cover the comeback because it's.
I just said he got hurt. He came back
And then-
into the game on drugs, and then was geeked
Go
out. in the
ahead and
post-game
have your
interview.
little moment in the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the comeback.
He doesn't even deserve it. He left, but we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I had something to do. All right, so Packers are down 20-0. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt early third quarter, comes out completely out of the game, goes into the tent, then gets on the cart, goes back into the locker room. My first instincts are, my season's over. Like, this is what I'm fucking used to. This happened to Aaron Rodgers last year. Like,
I don't want to interrupt you, but like, I just wanted to bring up the fact that I mentioned on the first podcast
I was thinking that too.
he's gonna get fucking hurt, and when it happened, I was like, fuck, I spoke it into existence. I'm such a dickhead.
Jesus.
Oh shit. But
yeah, well, like when you have the greatest quarterback of all time on your team, and he is the only talented person on your team, he goes down, like, it's your season's over. Like, it's like just exactly the same thing that happened last year. So when this happened in the very first game of the season, I was devastated. Like, I was literally, we were at meetings, so I was like literally watching the game on my phone, saw him go down, and like wanted to throw my phone across the room. So I was just like heartbroken, just pissed. And then so he's out, right, whatever, goes into halftime. And then he comes back out onto the field after halftime, suited up in a helmet, everything ready to go. They're like, oh, speculating whether he's going to go back in or not. Comes back in for the first possession. I think the first play, or like, he drove down the field, got a field goal, and I was like, okay, but it's 20-3. He's on one leg, like, there's no way, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And I'm just happy he's, like, honestly, I'm just happy he's back in the game. Like, that's really all I care about. Anyway, 20-3. Then I think we get a stop, and then Aaron Rodgers back on the field, go down, score. Amazing.
Tell me about the very end.
What?
Like the very end. Like, was there anything exciting? Like, so it was obviously a 3-possession comeback. Was there a game-winning touchdown at the end? Like, cause honestly, I didn't.
Kind of, not really. I mean, there was a go-ahead touchdown, but it wasn't like.
How much time was left? Do you know?
Well, it was like 2 minutes left, I think, and the Bears got the ball back, and we got to stop. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Again, I was
that's
watching
generally how those football games tend to work.
Yeah.
What?
It either ends with a stop or a score, and
well, but it wasn't like you asked. It was like the last
Right,
drive.
no,
Last
I
drive was
get
kind of
it.
boring.
one
Like, it
team
wasn't
has
anything.
more points than the other, unless it's the Cleveland Browns versus the Steelers.
Yeah. Then we just ended it.
But anyway, it was possibly the greatest like second half comeback of all time. Aaron Rodgers showing exactly what he is on one leg. It's just he's an amazing
He's
talent.
a machine. He's a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Wolverine, as some would say.
Some,
cat.
not I.
Yeah. Anyway, the post game interview. That's what. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
So
geeked.
anyway, so obviously
Geeked.
the game's over. Huge celebration. He's talking to one of the on-field reporters, and the interview. You guys got to look it up. I mean, maybe Drew can put it in here, but the interview you just have to.
That might be a little too.
I think you can.
Just go.
You have to look it up. It's
He's
honestly
not that
hilarious.
good.
Like Aaron Rodgers is a very smart person. He's always articulate and like knows what he wants to say. But this interview, like he just like he doesn't make any sense.
He had a little smile on his face.
Yeah, he's like just smiling the whole time. He doesn't make any sense. I mean, maybe you could chalk it up that he's just like overwhelmed and like super happy that he like pulled that
His
off.
pupils look like he was at EDC.
But yeah, like literally he. Like I fully believe that he was just geek. Like I don't know how many what pain pills they put him
Happy
on or
pills,
what,
bro.
but I don't know. It's a great interview. You guys got to look it up.
Yeah.
The dude's just geeked and it's honestly hilarious. He sounds like Brett Favre. Like really, he does. Like that's how Brett Favre.
I was saying like they asked him about his
regular jeans.
they asked him about his injury. He was like, "Oh, well, my knee." Like that's literally what he said.
Oh yeah, she was like, oh, so like like what was injury? He was just like. My knee. It's just like
He said it so corny too.
Yeah.
Like his voice was like my knee. Like it was.
You guys gotta look at it. It's so
But
That was the doctor's diagnosis, actually.
yeah, just oh doc, what's wrong? It's your knee.
Here, take some morphine.
Yeah, here you go.
yeah, I really appreciate you making jokes about him getting hurt and scaring the living shit out of me.
I'm calling it right now. He's gonna be out for the season
He's
next
gonna
game.
have a full
Speak it into
healthy
existence.
season, folks. Everybody's gonna stay healthy the remainder of the season, from Aaron Rodgers all the way down to your third
Buck
string
Allen.
scout team quarterbacks out
Oh,
there.
I will mention that I kind of downplayed the whole Khalil Mack like
Oh yeah,
contribution.
he wreaked fucking havoc. on you
Yeah,
guys
not
the
gonna
first
lie,
time.
he like
I
tore
heard.
our ass up.
Yeah.
Like not even gonna lie,
Just shoved it right up you guys.
Yeah, just like the mic.
Like this mic will go up his
That's
butt.
the one that
15,000
started
likes.
off
15,000.
this
After
one.
this video hits 15,000 likes.
24 hours, not
Yeah.
just 15,000 likes.
In
But I'm
24
down to
hours.
see it. I'm down to make 14,900.
I didn't agree to any of this. This was really sprung
YouTube
upon
accounts.
me.
It was sprung upon me. What are
No,
you
it's
talking
gonna
about?
be pegged upon me.
It's gonna be forced.
Anyway, like thank you guys again for watching.
Quick shout out before we end it. Cop your new Jivo hats.
Show the back. You can check the merch at Who Is Jivo. You check out his Instagram.
This is not an
Merch
ad.
on there. Not an ad.
Yeah,
No free
Jivo's our
ads.
boy. He's trying to start something cool. Started off with hats. Gonna move more into clothing, but he's trying to do. He's a DJ.
His background's
Kills
with
it.
music.
Yeah.
Kills it with
obviously.
music, bro.
Trying to
Kills
move,
it.
just basically start. I wouldn't even call it just like a music career because he wants to do
He's
like
branding
videos
himself.
and
He's
he wants to
branding
start a brand.
himself, yeah.
And we're supporting him. He supports us. These hats are really dope. Like honestly, this is probably my favorite hat that I got like right away. I'm not even just saying that. Like I actually really like
Right
it.
Yeah,
behind
so-
my Dodger hat.
So
Yeah.
hit him up. He still has a bunch. Like he has a crap load of different styles. Like he definitely has something
different
for you.
variations and everything. So, but yeah, thank you for watching.
Hit that little bell notification to get notified for the next video. Episode 3 is going to be coming out shortly.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And that's gonna have Ryan's
We love you
ass
guys.
penetration. All right, it's a wrap. Well, okay, I won't do that during the thing.
No clickety clackety.
None of that ruckus. Okay, we ready?
It's been
Okay, it's been recording. Here I go. What is up, YouTube? Okay, we're gonna restart again. Let me think.
We'll just edit that out.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
No, actually, no, restart.